Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English in Moments. I'm Elena, your host for today's lesson, and I'm so deeply grateful that you are here with me right now at this moment. If you are new to this channel, let me tell you that we publish new English lessons every single day, 7 days a week, to help you express yourself more clearly, speak with greater confidence, communicate naturally in any situation you find yourself in, and truly connect with people through the beauty of authentic language. Today's masterclass is something incredibly special, something deeply meaningful, something that I believe will transform not just your English fluency, but also your ability to connect with others on a deeper, more authentic, more human level. In this comprehensive lesson, you are going to learn how to express emotions and mental states in English with sophistication, nuance, precision, and emotional intelligence. You will move far beyond simple, basic words like happy, sad, or angry, and you will discover the rich, beautiful, expressive vocabulary that helps you describe exactly how you feel in any moment, in any situation, with clarity and confidence. Many English learners reach an intermediate level where they can describe what they do or what they think quite well. They can say, "I went to work today," or "I think this topic is important." But when someone asks them, "How are you really feeling?" or "What is going on inside?" they struggle. They do not have the words to express the complexity, the depth, the layers of their inner world. They say, "I am fine," when what they really mean is, "I am overwhelmed and struggling to keep everything together." They say, "I am okay," when what they truly feel is, "I am anxious about the future and uncertain about my path." They say, "I am good," when what they want to express is, "I am genuinely content, at peace, and grateful for where I am in life right now." This limitation, this gap between what you feel and what you can express, creates isolation, misunderstanding, and missed opportunities for genuine connection. When you cannot name your emotions clearly, you feel alone with them. When you cannot articulate your struggles, people cannot offer the right kind of support. When you cannot express your joy precisely, people cannot fully celebrate with you. Language is not just about communication. Language is about connection, understanding, validation, and being truly seen and heard by others. This masterclass will change that limitation forever. By the end of this comprehensive session, you will have the vocabulary and the confidence to express subtle emotions, complex mental states, and deep feelings that you may have never been able to articulate before in English. You will learn how to talk about stress, anxiety, and overwhelm in a healthy, constructive way. You will learn how to express hope, gratitude, contentment, and joy with specificity and warmth. You will learn how to describe feeling conflicted, confused, vulnerable, or uncertain when life feels complicated. You will learn how to support others when they share their emotions with you, responding with empathy, validation, and genuine care. And most importantly, you will learn to speak from your heart in English, not just from your mind, creating space for authentic, meaningful, healing conversations. Throughout this extended lesson, we will practice slowly and gently, with patience and care, connecting each word and phrase to real feelings, real experiences, and real moments in your life. This is not about memorization. This is not about cramming vocabulary lists into your brain. This is about feeling the language, absorbing it emotionally, integrating it into your sense of self, and training your brain to express your authentic inner experience in English naturally and effortlessly. Every sentence we voice together, every dialogue you shadow, every example you practice will help you build emotional fluency, the ability to name what you feel, express it clearly and appropriately, and connect with others through honest, vulnerable, beautiful communication. Emotions are universal. Every human being on this planet, regardless of culture, language, or background, feels joy, sadness, anxiety, hope, frustration, peace, confusion, and love. But not everyone can express those feelings clearly. When you master emotional vocabulary in English, you unlock the ability to build deeper relationships, ask for support when you need it, offer comfort to others, advocate for your needs, set healthy boundaries, process difficult experiences, and build a life that feels emotionally authentic, fulfilling, and aligned with who you truly are. Before we begin this meaningful journey together, I want you to do something for me. I want you to make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon if you want more helpful, transformative English learning episodes like this one. I publish lessons every single day, and I would be honored for you to join our growing community of learners who are committed to expressing themselves authentically, beautifully, and powerfully in English. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a moment, and release it slowly through your mouth. Let go of any stress, any pressure, any worry you might be carrying. Relax your shoulders, soften your face, open your heart, and let us begin this beautiful, profound exploration of emotional language together. When you first begin learning English, you learn basic emotion words: happy, sad, angry, scared, tired, excited. These words are important, fundamental, and useful. They serve a purpose in everyday communication. But here is the truth: they are limited. They are like painting a complex, nuanced, beautiful landscape with only 5 colors when there are thousands of shades, tones, hues, and gradients available to you. Real human emotions are rarely simple. They are complex, layered, often contradictory, constantly shifting, and deeply personal. Think about this for a moment. When someone asks you, "How are you?" and you answer, "I am fine," what does that really mean? Are you genuinely content and at peace? Are you just okay, but nothing special? Are you struggling, but do not want to talk about it? Are you so overwhelmed that you do not even know where to begin? The word fine can mean 100 different things depending on context, tone, and what is really happening inside you. And this is the problem. Basic vocabulary forces you to simplify, to flatten, to reduce the richness of your emotional experience into vague, imprecise words that do not capture what you are actually feeling. Psychologists call this lack of precision low emotional granularity. When your emotional granularity is low, your brain struggles to figure out exactly what it needs to feel better. Advanced emotional vocabulary gives you that much-needed precision. It gives you the ability to say, "I am feeling melancholy today," instead of just, "I am sad." It allows you to express, "I am experiencing a mix of excitement and apprehension," instead of simply, "I am nervous." It empowers you to articulate, "I feel radiant and tranquil," instead of settling for, "I am happy." This precision is not just about sounding sophisticated or educated, although those things matter too. This precision is about being understood. It is about honoring the complexity of your inner world. It is about giving others the information they need to truly see you, understand you, support you, and connect with you authentically. When you express emotions with precision and depth, several beautiful, powerful things happen in your life. First, you understand yourself better. Naming an emotion helps you process it, accept it, and work with it constructively rather than being overwhelmed or confused by it. Research in psychology shows that simply labeling your feelings, a practice called affect labeling, reduces the intensity of negative emotions and helps you regulate your emotional state more effectively. Second, you connect more deeply with others. When you can articulate exactly how you feel, people understand you better and can offer more meaningful, appropriate, effective support. Third, you build trust and intimacy in relationships. Vulnerability, the willingness to share what you truly feel without pretense or defense, is the foundation of authentic connection, deep friendship, and loving relationships. In this comprehensive masterclass, we will explore emotions in several distinct but interconnected categories. First, we will dive into positive emotions that feel light, uplifting, joyful, and energizing. Emotions like contentment, serenity, gratitude, exhilaration, and hope. These are the feelings that make life worth living, that remind you of beauty and goodness, that fill you with appreciation and optimism. Second, we will explore challenging emotions that feel heavy, difficult, or uncomfortable. Emotions like anguish, apprehension, frustration, isolation, and despondency. These emotions are just as valid, just as human, and just as important to express clearly and without shame. Third, we will examine complex emotions that mix different feelings together or create internal contradictions. Emotions like feeling bittersweet, conflicted, ambivalent, vulnerable, or nostalgic. These nuanced feelings reflect the true complexity of human experience. And finally, we will discuss mental states, longer-lasting psychological conditions like burnout, depression, anxiety disorders, and states of well-being that affect your overall functioning over extended periods. For each category, you will learn advanced vocabulary with precise definitions and emotional nuances. You will practice using these words in natural, meaningful sentences that connect to real-life situations. You will shadow authentic conversations where people express these emotions honestly and receive supportive, empathetic responses. You will repeat phrases slowly and gently, allowing the rhythm and feeling of each expression to sink into your consciousness. And you will create your own personal expressions that reflect your unique experiences, helping you integrate this vocabulary into your authentic voice in English. Before we dive into specific vocabulary, let me explain an important distinction that will help you understand how to use emotional language more precisely and appropriately. Emotions are usually temporary, acute feelings that arise in response to specific situations, events, or thoughts. You feel excited when you receive good news. You feel disappointed when something does not work out the way you hoped. You feel apprehensive before an important presentation or meeting. These emotions come and go, rising and falling like waves on the ocean, responding to internal and external stimuli, shifting throughout your day. Emotions are normal, natural, and part of being human. Mental states, on the other hand, describe your overall psychological, emotional, or cognitive condition over a longer period of time, days, weeks, months, or even years. You might be in a state of burnout from working too intensely for too long without adequate rest or boundaries. You might be experiencing deep contentment after making positive life changes that align with your values. You might be going through a prolonged period of confusion as you figure out what you want in life, who you are, or where you are heading. Mental states are more sustained, more pervasive, and often affect multiple areas of your life simultaneously: your work, your relationships, your physical health, your sense of meaning and purpose. Both emotions and mental states are important to express clearly and appropriately, and this masterclass will help you do both with confidence, sophistication, and emotional intelligence. Understanding the difference helps you communicate more precisely about whether you are experiencing a temporary feeling that will pass or a more sustained state that might require different kinds of attention, support, or intervention. Let me share something profoundly important with you, something I want you to really take to heart. In every language, in every culture, in every human society, the ability to express emotions clearly is deeply connected to emotional intelligence. The capacity to understand your own feelings, process them in healthy ways, communicate them effectively to others, recognize and respond to emotions in other people, and use emotional information to guide thinking and behavior in constructive, adaptive ways. When you develop rich emotional vocabulary in English, you are not just learning words for a vocabulary test or to sound impressive in conversations. You are developing the ability to navigate relationships with skill and sensitivity, handle stress and adversity with resilience and grace, support others through their struggles with empathy and compassion, advocate for your own needs without guilt or apology, set healthy boundaries that protect your well-being, and build a life that feels emotionally authentic, fulfilling, aligned with your values, and deeply meaningful. Native English speakers who are emotionally articulate are often perceived as more mature, more trustworthy, more capable of leadership, more skilled in relationships, and more emotionally stable and resilient. When you can say, "I am feeling overwhelmed by all the responsibilities I have right now, and I need to set some boundaries to protect my mental health," instead of just, "I am stressed," people understand you better. They respect your self-awareness, they appreciate your honesty, and they can offer more appropriate, helpful, effective support. When you can say, "I am experiencing a complex mix of exhilaration about this new opportunity and apprehension about stepping into the unknown," instead of just, "I am nervous," you are giving people insight into your nuanced inner world. You are showing emotional depth, self-reflection, and the kind of vulnerability that builds trust and intimacy. This matters profoundly in friendships, where emotional honesty creates the foundation for deep, lasting connection. It matters in romantic relationships, where the ability to express feelings clearly can mean the difference between growing together and growing apart. It matters in family dynamics, where naming emotions helps resolve conflicts, heal old wounds, and build understanding across generations. It matters in professional settings, where emotional intelligence is increasingly recognized as essential for effective leadership, collaboration, teamwork, and organizational success. And perhaps most importantly, it matters in your relationship with yourself. Your ability to understand your own feelings, honor them, learn from them, and use them as guides toward a life that feels authentic and true to who you are. Now, with this foundation firmly established, with this understanding of why emotional vocabulary matters so deeply, let us begin exploring the actual words, phrases, and expressions that will transform your ability to express your inner world in English. Let us start with something beautiful, something uplifting, something that reminds us of what makes life worth living. Positive emotions that feel good, that bring light, that fill us with warmth and appreciation. Happiness is wonderful, beautiful, and worth celebrating. But here is something many English learners do not realize. Happiness is not the only positive emotion. In fact, there are so many beautiful, nuanced ways to describe feelings of joy, peace, satisfaction, excitement, gratitude, contentment, delight, serenity, hope, and appreciation. Each word carries a slightly different shade of meaning, a different quality of feeling, a different emotional temperature and texture. Learning these words will help you express the full, rich spectrum of positive experiences in your life with precision, beauty, and authenticity. Let us explore these emotions slowly, meaningfully, with presence and attention, connecting each one to real situations, real moments, real experiences where you might feel this way in your own life. Let us begin with joy, delight, and elation. Joy is a deep, warm, expansive feeling of happiness that comes from meaningful experiences, spending quality time with loved ones, achieving something you have worked hard for, witnessing something truly beautiful, experiencing a moment of pure connection or transcendence. Joy is not superficial. Joy touches something deep inside you. Joy fills your chest with warmth and makes your heart feel full. Let's voice this together. I feel such profound joy when I am surrounded by the people I love most. Now, close your eyes for just a moment. Imagine that scene. Picture the people you love most in this world. See their faces, hear their laughter, feel the warmth of their presence. Let that feeling of connection and love fill you completely. Now, open your eyes and say it again, with all that emotion. I feel such profound joy when I am surrounded by the people I love most. Try voicing this one with genuine happiness for others. There is such joy in watching someone you care about achieve their dreams. Now, shadow this phrase with me. I experienced pure joy when I finally accomplished what I had been working toward for years. Delight is a lighter, brighter, more playful feeling than joy. The pleasure, the small happiness you get from unexpected good things, delightful surprises, charming moments. A surprise gift from a friend, a beautiful sunset that catches you off guard, a kind gesture from a stranger, a piece of good news you were not expecting. Delight is joy's lighter, more spontaneous cousin. Say this with a smile spreading across your face. I felt pure delight when I discovered this cozy little cafe tucked away on a side street. Picture yourself finding something lovely, charming, and unexpected. I felt pure delight when I discovered this cozy little cafe tucked away on a side street. Try this one with lightness and warmth. The children's laughter filled the room with such delight. Speak this aloud with me. What a delightful surprise to receive your message today. Elation is intense, powerful, almost euphoric joy. The feeling when something absolutely wonderful, extraordinary, life-changing happens. You get the job you have dreamed of for years. You receive news that changes everything in the best possible way. You accomplish something you thought might be impossible. Elation is joy turned up to its highest volume, filling every cell in your body with excitement and happiness. Take a breath and repeat. I was absolutely elated when I heard I got accepted into the program. Feel that rush of overwhelming happiness. I was absolutely elated when I heard I got accepted into the program. Voice this with celebratory energy. She was elated to discover that her proposal had been approved. Shadow this phrase with awe and excitement. The feeling of elation when you achieve something you have worked so hard for is indescribable. Let us expand this even further. When that elation makes you feel incredibly alive, you might use the word exhilarated. Exhilaration is a thrilling, breathless kind of joy. The feeling you get when you are doing something exciting, slightly daring, or physically invigorating. Let's voice this together. I felt completely exhilarated as I reached the top of the mountain and looked at the view. Try this one with me. The exhilarating rush of performing on stage is unlike anything else in the world. If the feeling is softer, you might say you feel radiant. Radiant means glowing with happiness, emitting joy so strongly that other people can actually see it on your face. Speak this aloud with me. She looked absolutely radiant on her wedding day, surrounded by everyone she loved. Shadow this phrase. I feel so radiant and healthy since I started prioritizing my own well-being. Now let us move to feeling content, peaceful, and serene. Content means satisfied, at ease, comfortable with where you are in life, not wanting anything more in this particular moment. You are not excited or ecstatic, but you are not anxious or unhappy either. You feel peacefully satisfied, genuinely okay with how things are. You have reached a place of acceptance and appreciation for what you have. Let's voice this with calm, genuine satisfaction. I feel truly content with my life right now, and that is a beautiful feeling. Feel that gentle peace, that soft comfort. I feel truly content with my life right now, and that is a beautiful feeling. Take a breath and repeat. After years of chasing more, I have finally learned to feel content with enough. Try this one reflectively. There is something deeply satisfying about feeling content rather than constantly wanting more. Peaceful describes a state of inner calm, tranquility, freedom from worry or mental disturbance. Your mind is quiet and clear. Your body is relaxed and at ease. Everything feels still, gentle, harmonious. You are not fighting anything. You are not resisting anything. You are simply present, calm, and at peace with what is. Speak this softly, almost in a whisper. I feel so peaceful when I am near the water, listening to the waves. Imagine that scene. Hear the water. Feel the tranquility washing over you. I feel so peaceful when I am near the water, listening to the waves. Let's voice this with quiet reverence. Early morning hours have such a peaceful quality before the world fully wakes up. Shadow this phrase with intention and calm. I have been cultivating a more peaceful inner state through meditation and reflection. Serene is similar to peaceful, but even more deeply calm, even more still and quiet, almost meditative, spiritual, transcendent. It is the feeling of complete inner stillness, perfect harmony between mind, body, and spirit. Everything feels aligned, balanced, and profoundly okay. Serenity is peace taken to its deepest, most beautiful level. Try voicing this with quiet, profound reverence. There is something deeply serene about watching the sunrise in complete silence. Take a breath and repeat with admiration. She had a serene expression on her face, as if nothing could disturb her inner peace. Speak this aloud as a gentle intention. I am seeking more serene moments in my life, moments of complete stillness and presence. We can also use the word tranquil to describe an environment that makes us feel serene. Let's voice this together. The tranquil atmosphere of the ancient temple instantly calmed my racing thoughts. Let us practice the vocabulary of gratitude, feeling grateful, thankful, and appreciative. Grateful means deeply thankful for what you have, recognizing blessings both large and small, feeling warmth and appreciation toward people who have helped you, supported you, loved you. Gratitude is one of the most healing, most powerful positive emotions. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, from what is wrong to what is right, from scarcity to abundance. Shadow this phrase with genuine, heartfelt sincerity. I am so grateful for all the support and encouragement I have received on this journey. Let that appreciation fill your heart. I am so grateful for all the support and encouragement I have received on this journey. Try this one as a genuine acknowledgement of your blessings. I feel deeply grateful for my health, my relationships, and the opportunities I have been given. Take a breath and repeat. Gratitude has transformed my perspective on life in profound ways. Thankful is similar to grateful, but often used for specific things, specific moments, specific outcomes, rather than an overall feeling state. You are thankful when something specific works out, when you receive help, when you are relieved of worry. Let's voice this with relief and gratitude combined. I am thankful that everything worked out in the end, even though the journey was difficult. Speak this aloud with warm appreciation. I am thankful for friends who show up when I need them most. Try voicing this as a practice, as an intention. Every day I find something to be thankful for, no matter how challenging life gets. Appreciative means recognizing and valuing something or someone, feeling gratitude with conscious awareness and acknowledgement. When you are appreciative, you are not just thankful, you are actively aware of value, actively recognizing goodness, actively honoring what you have received. Shadow this phrase with genuine, heartfelt warmth. I am deeply appreciative of your kindness and patience during this difficult time. Take a breath and repeat with growing awareness. I have become more appreciative of the small, simple pleasures in life. Let's voice this together. She was so appreciative of the effort everyone put into making her feel welcome. Let us explore the energy of positive anticipation, feeling excited, enthusiastic, and eager. Excited means feeling energized, anticipation about something good that is going to happen, something you are looking forward to with positive expectation and emotional energy. Your heart beats a little faster. Your eyes light up. You feel ready for something wonderful. Try this one with genuine energy and anticipation. I am so excited about starting this new chapter in my life and seeing where it leads. Feel that forward-moving energy. I am so excited about starting this new chapter in my life and seeing where it leads. Speak this aloud with bright, forward-looking energy. I cannot help but feel excited every time I think about the possibilities ahead. Shadow this phrase with an understanding of that vibrant energy. The children were so excited they could barely sit still. Enthusiastic means excited, but with active, passionate, engaged energy. You are not just looking forward to something, you are ready to throw yourself into it fully, to engage with it completely, to participate with your whole heart. Enthusiasm is excitement plus passion plus commitment. Let's voice this with passionate, engaged energy. I am enthusiastic about learning and growing in this new field of study. Take a breath and repeat with admiration. Her enthusiastic approach to every project is truly inspiring to everyone around her. Try voicing this as an intention. I want to approach life more enthusiastically, bringing energy and passion to everything I do. Eager means excited with a quality of impatience. You are looking forward to something so much that you can barely wait. You want it to happen right now. You are ready and prepared and counting down the moments. Shadow this phrase with forward-looking anticipation. I am eager to see what the future holds and what opportunities will come my way. Speak this aloud with that impatient excitement. She was eager to begin the project and could not wait to get started. Let's voice this together with passionate readiness. I am eager to learn, eager to grow, eager to become the person I know I can be. Now, let us focus on the vocabulary of positive expectation, feeling hopeful, optimistic, and encouraged. Hopeful means looking toward the future with positive expectation, believing that things can get better, holding on to the belief that good outcomes are possible, even when circumstances are difficult. Hope is the light that keeps you moving forward through darkness. Try voicing this with gentle, confident hope. I am feeling genuinely hopeful about the changes I am making in my life. Take a breath and repeat with resilient hope. Even in difficult times, I try to remain hopeful that things will improve. Let's voice this together with a recognition of hope's power. Hope is what keeps us going when everything else feels uncertain or challenging. Optimistic means having a generally positive outlook on life, expecting good outcomes more often than bad ones, seeing opportunities rather than just obstacles, believing that things will work out for the best. Optimism is a worldview, a disposition, a way of approaching life. Shadow this phrase with bright, confident optimism. I am optimistic that everything will work out, even if I do not know exactly how yet. Speak this aloud with appreciation for that energy. She has such an optimistic outlook on life that it is contagious to everyone around her. Try this one as a statement of growth and intention. I am learning to be more optimistic rather than always expecting the worst. Encouraged means feeling hope and motivation because of something positive that happened, a sign of progress, a kind word, a small victory, evidence that things are moving in the right direction. Encouragement gives you the emotional fuel to keep going. Let's voice this with renewed energy and motivation. I felt so encouraged by the progress I made this week, even though it was small. Take a breath and repeat with gratitude. Your words of encouragement came at exactly the right time and really lifted my spirits. Shadow this phrase with momentum and hope. Every small step forward encourages me to keep moving in this direction. Finally, for positive emotions, let us look at the release of tension, feeling relieved, reassured, and at ease. Relieved means feeling the release of tension, worry, or fear when something you were anxious about does not happen, or when something difficult finally ends. Relief is the exhale after holding your breath, the lightness after carrying a heavy weight, the peace after resolving uncertainty. Try voicing this with a deep exhale, releasing tension. I felt so incredibly relieved when I finally finished that challenging project. Speak this aloud with grateful relief. What a relief to know that everything is going to be okay after all. Let's voice this together with the peace that comes from resolution. I am relieved that I made the decision and can finally stop worrying about it. Reassured means feeling calm and secure again after someone or something has eased your worries, provided comfort, offered information that makes you feel better, or reminded you that things will be okay. Reassurance comes from outside yourself, but creates peace inside yourself. Shadow this phrase with comfort and calm. I felt so reassured after talking to someone I trust about my concerns. Take a breath and repeat with gratitude for that reassurance. Her calm, confident words reassured me that I was on the right path. Try this one as an honest expression of need. I need to feel reassured sometimes that what I am doing makes sense. At ease means comfortable, relaxed, free from tension, worry, or anxiety. When you are at ease, your shoulders drop, your breathing deepens, your mind quiets, and you feel okay with how things are in this moment. Let's voice this with calm certainty. I finally feel at ease about the decision I made, and that brings me such peace. Speak this aloud with appreciation. She has a way of making everyone around her feel at ease and comfortable. Shadow this phrase as a sign of wisdom and growth. I am learning to feel more at ease with uncertainty rather than needing to control everything. Now let us practice using these beautiful positive emotion words in an extended, real, authentic conversation. Imagine you are catching up with a close friend after some time apart, and you are sharing good news and positive feelings. Your friend smiles, looks at you closely, and says, "You seem really happy lately. There is something different about your energy. How have you been?" And you reply, "Thank you for noticing. I have been feeling genuinely content, actually, which is such a wonderful feeling. I made some important changes in my life, and they are really making a profound difference." Your friend looks delighted, leans in, and says, "That is so wonderful to hear. I am incredibly glad for you. What kind of changes did you make?" And you explain, "I started prioritizing my mental health and well-being above everything else. I began saying no to things that drain my energy, and I feel so much more peaceful now, so much more at ease with myself." Your friend nods supportively. That takes real courage to enforce those boundaries. I am really proud of you for taking those steps. And you respond with a warm smile. "Thank you so much. I feel deeply grateful for the people who supported me through this transition. And honestly, I am more optimistic about the future than I have been in years." Your friend says, "That is beautiful. It sounds like you are in a really good place emotionally, and it truly shows." And you finish by saying, "I am. For the first time in a very long time, I feel at ease with who I am and where I am in life. It is such a profound relief." Now let us repeat this slowly, line by line. I want you to imagine you are sharing these positive emotions with your good friend. Feel the warmth, the authenticity, the joy of being able to express how well you are doing. Let's voice this together. Thank you for noticing. I have been feeling genuinely content, actually, which is such a wonderful feeling. I made some important changes in my life, and they are really making a profound difference. Try this next part with that sense of positive transformation. I started prioritizing my mental health and well-being above everything else. I began saying no to things that drain my energy, and I feel so much more peaceful now, so much more at ease with myself. Take a breath and repeat with gratitude and hope. Thank you so much. I feel deeply grateful for the people who supported me through this transition. And honestly, I am more optimistic about the future than I have been in years. Shadow this final line with genuine contentment. I am. For the first time in a very long time, I feel at ease with who I am and where I am in life. It is such a profound relief. Now let us hear that same extended conversation at natural speaking speed, the way two friends would actually talk in real life. Your friend asks, "You seem really happy lately. There is something different about your energy. How have you been?" You answer, "Thanks for noticing. I've been feeling genuinely content, actually, which is such a wonderful feeling. I made some important changes in my life, and they're really making a profound difference." Your friend says, "That's so wonderful to hear. I'm incredibly glad for you. What kind of changes did you make?" You explain, "I started prioritizing my mental health and well-being above everything else. I began saying no to things that drain my energy, and I feel so much more peaceful now, so much more at ease with myself." Your friend says, "That takes real courage to enforce those boundaries. I'm really proud of you for taking those steps." You answer, "Thanks so much. I feel deeply grateful for the people who supported me through this transition. And honestly, I'm more optimistic about the future than I've been in years." Your friend smiles. "That's beautiful. It sounds like you're in a really good place emotionally, and it truly shows." And you confirm, "I am. For the first time in a very long time, I feel at ease with who I am and where I am in life. It's such a profound relief." Shadow this natural speed response with me. Feel the warmth, the authenticity, the emotional depth that comes from using precise, sophisticated emotional vocabulary. This is how emotionally intelligent people communicate in English. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and think about positive emotions in your own life, in your own real experience. I am going to give you some sentence starters, and I want you to complete them silently in your mind, or if you are comfortable, softly out loud. Let these sentences reflect your real feelings, your real experiences, your genuine inner world. I feel most content and at peace when. Think about when you truly feel okay with life exactly as it is. Something that brings me genuine joy and fills my heart is. Picture what makes you feel that deep, warm happiness. I am deeply grateful for. Acknowledge what you appreciate in your life right now. I feel peaceful and serene when. Think about what brings you that deep inner calm. I am hopeful and optimistic about. Consider what you look forward to with positive expectation. Take your time with these. Really feel them. Let the vocabulary connect to your authentic emotional experience. This is how these words become part of your natural expression in English, not through memorization, but through genuine personal connection. Now we are going to shift our focus to emotions that do not feel good, emotions that are uncomfortable, heavy, or painful. And I want to say something very important before we begin this section. Not all emotions feel pleasant, and that is completely okay. In fact, it is perfectly human, perfectly normal, perfectly healthy. Sadness, anger, fear, anxiety, frustration, disappointment, loneliness. These are natural, valid responses to difficult situations, losses, injustices, setbacks, and disappointments. They are part of the human experience. Learning to express these challenging emotions clearly, appropriately, and without shame is just as important as expressing positive feelings, perhaps even more important in many ways. Why? Because these are the emotions that often go unexpressed, hidden, suppressed, or minimized, and that hiding leads to misunderstanding, isolation, disconnection, and internal suffering. When you can name difficult emotions precisely and share them appropriately, you gain power over them. You are no longer at their mercy. Instead of being overwhelmed by a vague, scary sense of feeling bad that you cannot quite identify or understand, you can pinpoint exactly what you are experiencing. Is it disappointment, frustration, apprehension, alienation, exhaustion? That clarity, that precision, helps you address the emotion more effectively. It helps you know what you need. It helps others understand how to support you. And it helps you process the feeling and move through it rather than getting stuck in it. Let us explore these challenging emotions with compassion, with understanding, with gentleness toward ourselves, and with the advanced vocabulary that helps you express what is difficult without shame, guilt, or the need to minimize or hide what you are genuinely feeling. Let us explore the vocabulary of sadness. Feeling sad, melancholy, heartbroken, and grief-stricken. Sad is the general, basic word for unhappy feelings. But as we have established, there are more specific, more nuanced ways to describe different types, different qualities, different intensities of sadness. Melancholy is a gentle, reflective, almost poetic kind of sadness, often without a specific, identifiable cause. It is that quiet feeling of wistfulness, of longing for something you cannot quite name, of gentle sorrow that does not overwhelm you, but colors everything with a soft shade of gray. Melancholy is contemplative sadness, thoughtful sadness, the kind that makes you reflective rather than reactive. Try voicing this softly, gently, letting that feeling be okay. I have been feeling a bit melancholy lately, though I cannot quite explain why or point to a specific reason. Take a breath and repeat with understanding and acceptance. There is a certain melancholy that comes with endings, even when you know they are necessary. Let's voice this together with gentle acknowledgement. Rainy days sometimes bring out a melancholy mood in me. Heartbroken is deep, intense, piercing sadness that comes from significant loss or profound betrayal. Romantic breakups, losing someone you love deeply, discovering that someone betrayed your trust, experiencing a disappointment so profound it feels like your heart is literally breaking inside your chest. Heartbreak is sadness at its most painful, most acute, most overwhelming. Shadow this phrase with the weight of that deep pain. I felt absolutely heartbroken when that relationship ended, even though I knew it was the right decision. Speak this aloud with honest acknowledgement of that intense pain. There is no other way to describe it, I was completely heartbroken by what happened. Try this one with empathy and deep feeling. Watching someone you love suffer is absolutely heartbreaking. Grief-stricken describes overwhelming, devastating sadness specifically from loss, particularly death or other profound, permanent endings. Grief is sadness plus loss plus the painful process of accepting that something or someone is gone forever and will never return. Let's voice this with deep empathy and compassion. She was absolutely grief-stricken after losing her beloved grandmother who had raised her. Take a breath and repeat with reverence for their pain. The grief-stricken family struggled to find words to express their profound loss. Shadow this phrase with an understanding that grief comes from many kinds of loss. I felt grief-stricken when I had to say goodbye to my childhood home. If we move even deeper into sadness, we find words like anguish and despondency. Anguish is severe physical or mental pain, an agony of the mind. It is sharper and more active than grief. Try voicing this with the intensity of that suffering. The anguish of waiting for the medical test results was almost unbearable. Despondency is a state of low spirits caused by a loss of hope or courage. It is when sadness makes you feel like giving up. Speak this aloud with that heavy loss of hope. After months of searching for a job without success, a deep despondency began to settle over him. Now, let us look at the vocabulary of unease, feeling anxious, worried, stressed, and apprehensive. Anxious means feeling nervous, uneasy, unsettled, worried about something that might happen in the future, often accompanied by physical symptoms like tension in your muscles, tightness in your chest, restlessness in your body, racing thoughts in your mind. Anxiety lives in the future, in the what-ifs, in all the things that could go wrong. Let's voice this together, acknowledging that uncomfortable feeling. I have been feeling increasingly anxious about the upcoming presentation at work. Try this one honestly, without judgment. Anxiety sometimes keeps me awake at night with racing thoughts and worries. Take a breath and repeat with self-awareness. I feel anxious whenever I have to step outside my comfort zone, even though I know growth requires it. Worried is similar to anxious, but more focused on specific concerns, specific potential problems, specific things you are concerned about rather than general, diffuse unease. When you are worried, you can usually name what you are worried about. Shadow this phrase with genuine, focused concern. I am really worried about my family's health, especially my parents as they get older. Speak this aloud with that preoccupied concern. I cannot help but worry about whether I am making the right decisions for my future. Let's voice this with an understanding of parental concern. She has been worried sick about her daughter who is traveling alone abroad. Stressed means feeling pressure, strain, and tension from too many demands, too many responsibilities, too many challenges all at once. Stress is what happens when the demands on you exceed your perceived ability to cope with them. You feel pushed, pulled, stretched too thin, unable to keep up. Try voicing this honestly, acknowledging that pressure. I am feeling really stressed with everything going on at work and at home simultaneously. Take a breath and repeat as an important recognition. The stress of trying to balance everything is starting to affect my sleep and my health. Shadow this phrase as both acknowledgement and intention. I need to find better ways to manage stress before it becomes overwhelming. Overwhelmed means feeling like there is too much to handle, like you are drowning in responsibilities, emotions, decisions, or information. You cannot see a way forward. You cannot figure out where to start. Everything feels like too much all at once. Let's voice this together with the weight of that burden. I feel completely and utterly overwhelmed by all the decisions I need to make right now. Speak this aloud with vulnerability and honesty. Sometimes life becomes so overwhelming that I do not even know where to begin. Try this one as a statement of growth and wisdom. I am learning to ask for help when I feel overwhelmed, rather than trying to handle everything alone. Apprehensive means feeling anxious or fearful that something bad or unpleasant will happen. It is a very specific type of dread regarding an upcoming event. Take a breath and repeat with that sense of hesitant dread. I am feeling quite apprehensive about moving to a new city where I do not know a single soul. Shadow this phrase with caution. She was apprehensive about accepting the job offer without meeting the team first. Next are the degrees of annoyance, feeling frustrated, irritated, exasperated, and infuriated. Frustrated means feeling annoyed, disappointed, or defeated because something is not working the way you want, is not fair, is not progressing, or keeps going wrong despite your efforts. Frustration is that feeling of hitting a wall repeatedly, trying hard but not seeing results, wanting something to change but feeling powerless to change it. Let's voice this with that tense, stuck feeling. I am really frustrated that I keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Try this one with an understanding of that disappointment. It is so frustrating when you work hard but do not see the progress you hoped for. Speak this aloud with self-directed frustration. I feel frustrated with myself for not setting better boundaries earlier. Irritated is milder than angry, but more than just slightly bothered. Annoyed by small things that bother you, poke at you, get under your skin. When you are irritated, little things that would not normally bother you suddenly feel like big deals. Shadow this phrase with that prickly, agitated feeling. I am feeling really irritated today because nothing seems to be going smoothly. Take a breath and repeat with acknowledgement. Small things that would not usually bother me are really irritating me right now. Let's voice this together with self-awareness. When I am tired and stressed, I become more easily irritated by minor inconveniences. Exasperated means extremely frustrated, at the very end of your patience, feeling like you have tried everything and nothing works, like you just cannot deal with this situation or person or problem anymore. Exasperation is frustration multiplied, patience completely depleted. Try voicing this with exhausted frustration. I am absolutely exasperated with how long this process is taking and how many obstacles keep appearing. Speak this aloud with an understanding of that feeling. She gave an exasperated sigh, clearly at the end of her rope. Shadow this phrase with that sense of depleting patience. I am trying not to become exasperated, but my patience is wearing very thin. When annoyance pushes past exasperation, it becomes infuriating. Infuriated means making someone extremely angry and impatient. It is a strong, burning emotion. Let's voice this with that intense heat. It is absolutely infuriating when people interrupt you while you are trying to explain something important. Now let us explore the vocabulary of separation, feeling lonely, isolated, disconnected, and alienated. Lonely means feeling alone in a deep, painful way, lacking meaningful connection, companionship, understanding, or belonging. You can feel lonely even when surrounded by people if you do not feel truly seen, truly known, truly connected. Loneliness is one of the most painful human emotions. Take a breath and repeat vulnerably, honestly. I sometimes feel deeply lonely, even though I am rarely physically alone. Try this one with understanding and empathy. Loneliness is not about being alone. It is about feeling unseen and unknown. Speak this aloud as an honest need. I have been feeling lonely and wishing I had more deep, meaningful connections in my life. Isolated means cut off, separated from others, either physically or emotionally, lacking support, community, or connection. Isolation can be circumstantial, like when you are physically alone, or emotional, like when you are around people but cannot connect. But either way, it creates a painful sense of separation. Let's voice this together with an understanding of that painful separation. I felt profoundly isolated during that difficult period when I could not reach out to anyone for support. Shadow this phrase with acknowledgement of an unexpected challenge. Working from home full-time has left me feeling more isolated than I expected. Try voicing this with empathy. Isolation is one of the hardest parts of going through difficult times. Disconnected means not feeling emotionally present, engaged, or connected to your life, your relationships, your work, your sense of purpose, or even yourself. You are going through the motions, but not really feeling anything, not really being present, not really engaged with what is happening. Take a breath and repeat with concern and self-reflection. I have been feeling strangely disconnected from the things I usually enjoy and find meaningful. Speak this aloud with vulnerability. I feel disconnected from myself lately, like I do not recognize who I have become. Let's voice this with self-awareness. When I am overwhelmed, I sometimes become emotionally disconnected as a coping mechanism. Alienated takes disconnection a step further. It means feeling isolated or estranged, as if you are fundamentally different from everyone around you and do not belong. Shadow this phrase with that profound sense of not belonging. After living abroad for so many years, I returned home only to feel completely alienated from my own culture. When expectations are not met, we feel disappointed, let down, discouraged, and disheartened. Disappointed means feeling sadness, displeasure, or frustration when something does not meet your expectations, hopes, or desires. Disappointment is that deflated feeling when reality does not match what you hoped for or believed would happen. Try voicing this with that deflated, let down feeling. I was really disappointed that the event got canceled after I had been looking forward to it for months. Take a breath and repeat with permission and compassion. It is okay to feel disappointed when things do not work out the way you hoped they would. Speak this aloud with honest self-reflection. I am disappointed in myself for not following through on the commitments I made. Let down means disappointed specifically because someone did not do what you expected, hoped, or needed them to do. When you are let down, the disappointment comes from broken trust, unmet promises, or dashed expectations about another person. Let's voice this together with hurt and disappointment combined. I felt really let down when they did not follow through on their promise to help me. Shadow this phrase with empathy. It is painful to feel let down by someone you trusted and counted on. Try this one as a statement of value and intention. I try not to let people down because I know how much that hurts. Discouraged means losing hope, motivation, or confidence because of setbacks, lack of progress, repeated failures, or obstacles that seem insurmountable. When you are discouraged, it is hard to keep trying, hard to believe things will improve, hard to maintain momentum. Take a breath and repeat, with that loss of motivation and hope. I am feeling discouraged because I am not seeing the results I hoped for, despite my consistent efforts. Speak this aloud as encouragement to yourself or others. Do not get discouraged if progress is slow. Every step forward still matters. Let's voice this with resilience despite difficulty. I felt discouraged after multiple rejections, but I am trying to keep going anyway. Disheartened is a beautiful, poetic word that means having lost determination or confidence. It literally means your heart has been taken out of what you are doing. Shadow this phrase with that loss of spirit. It is incredibly disheartening to put so much love into a project only to have it completely ignored. When clarity is missing, we feel confused, uncertain, lost, and bewildered. Confused means not understanding something clearly, feeling mentally muddled, foggy, unclear about a situation, unable to make sense of what is happening or what you should do. Confusion is cognitive and emotional disorientation. Try voicing this with that mental fog and uncertainty. I am feeling really confused about what direction to take in my career and what my next steps should be. Take a breath and repeat, with frustration at that lack of clarity. I am confused by mixed signals and contradictory information I am receiving. Speak this aloud with compassion and patience. It is okay to feel confused sometimes. Clarity usually comes with time and reflection. Uncertain means not knowing what will happen, what to do, what the right answer is, lacking confidence in predictions, decisions, or understanding. Uncertainty is living in the unknown, in the space between knowing and not knowing. Let's voice this together honestly, without trying to fix it. I feel deeply uncertain about the future right now, and that uncertainty is uncomfortable. Shadow this phrase with wisdom and compassion. Uncertainty is part of life, but that does not make it any easier to sit with. Try this one as a marker of growth. I am learning to be more comfortable with uncertainty rather than needing all the answers right away. Lost means feeling directionless, without purpose, without clear path, emotionally and mentally adrift. When you feel lost, you do not know who you are anymore, what you want, where you are going, or what any of this means. Lost is profound disorientation. Take a breath and repeat, vulnerably, openly. I have been feeling a bit lost lately, like I do not know what I am working toward or why. Speak this aloud with understanding and hope. Feeling lost is scary, but sometimes we need to get lost to find ourselves again. Let's voice this with empathy for that disorientation. I felt completely lost after that major life change, like I did not know who I was anymore. Bewildered is a stronger form of confusion. It means being completely baffled or highly perplexed, almost as if you are lost in a wild place. Shadow this phrase with that sense of complete bafflement. I was entirely bewildered by his sudden change in attitude toward me. Let us close this section with the vocabulary of depletion: feeling exhausted, drained, burnt out, and depleted. Exhausted means completely tired, emptied of physical, emotional, or mental energy. You have nothing left to give. Your tank is empty. You need rest desperately. Try voicing this with that bone-deep tiredness. I am absolutely exhausted from working such long hours without adequate rest or recovery time. Take a breath and repeat with an understanding of that profound tiredness. Sometimes I am so exhausted that even simple tasks feel overwhelming and impossible. Speak this aloud as an act of self-care and wisdom. I need to respect when I am exhausted and give myself permission to rest. Drained means feeling like all your energy, enthusiasm, or emotional resources have been sucked out, leaving you empty, fatigued, unable to give anymore. You feel hollowed out. Let's voice this together with that emptiness. I feel emotionally drained after that difficult conversation and need time to recharge. Shadow this phrase with self-awareness. Certain people and situations leave me feeling drained rather than energized. Try this one as a statement of growth and self-protection. I am learning to recognize what drains me so I can set better boundaries. Burnt out is not just tiredness. It is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged, excessive stress without adequate recovery. Burnout involves feelings of cynicism, detachment, reduced effectiveness, and loss of meaning or purpose in what you are doing. Take a breath and repeat with recognition and concern. I think I am experiencing genuine burnout from not taking enough time for rest and self-care. Speak this aloud with an understanding of burnout's seriousness. Burnout is not just about being tired. It is about losing your sense of purpose and connection to what you are doing. Let's voice this as a necessary action. I am taking steps to recover from burnout by setting boundaries and prioritizing rest. Depleted is a clinical but highly descriptive word that means all your inner reserves have been used up. Shadow this phrase with that profound lack of reserves. After giving so much to the project for 6 months straight, my creative energy is completely depleted. Now let us practice using these challenging emotion words in a real, authentic, deeply supportive conversation. Imagine two close friends are having an honest talk. One friend looks at you with concern and says gently, "Hey, you have seemed a bit off lately, not quite yourself. Is everything okay? I am here if you want to talk." And you reply, taking a deep breath, "Thanks for asking. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I have been feeling pretty overwhelmed with everything going on in my life right now." Your friend listens carefully, giving you their full attention, and says, "I am sorry to hear that you are struggling. What has been weighing on you most?" You explain, looking down slightly, "It is a combination of several things all at once. I am feeling stressed and anxious about work deadlines. I am deeply worried about some personal decisions I need to make. And I have been feeling a bit lonely and isolated, even though I am around people every day." Your friend responds with genuine empathy. "That sounds really difficult to carry all of that. I can completely understand why you would feel overwhelmed." And you confess, the frustration evident in your voice. "And honestly, I also feel frustrated and disappointed with myself because I keep saying yes to things when I really should be setting better boundaries. I am exhausted, physically and mentally, and I am not sleeping well." Your friend says softly, putting a hand on your arm, "Please do not be so hard on yourself. It sounds like you are carrying an incredible amount of weight, and anyone would feel overwhelmed in your situation. You sigh, feeling a bit of relief, and say, "Thanks for saying that. I have also felt pretty isolated with all of this because I have not really talked to anyone about what I am going through. I felt alienated from my own life." Your friend smiles kindly. "Well, I am really glad you are talking to me now. I am here for you, and you do not have to go through this alone." And you finish by saying, "Thank you so much. Just saying these things out loud and having someone listen makes me feel a little less alone with it all." Now let us repeat your part of this extended dialogue slowly, line by line, practicing expressing these difficult emotions clearly and honestly. Let's voice this together. "Thanks for asking. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I have been feeling pretty overwhelmed with everything going on in my life right now." Try this next part, letting the weight of the words land. It is a combination of several things all at once. I am feeling stressed and anxious about work deadlines. I am deeply worried about some personal decisions I need to make. And I have been feeling a bit lonely and isolated, even though I am around people every day. Take a breath and repeat with that sense of inner frustration. "And honestly, I also feel frustrated and disappointed with myself because I keep saying yes to things when I really should be setting better boundaries. I am exhausted, physically and mentally, and I am not sleeping well." Shadow this final line with a sense of relief. "Thanks for saying that. I have also felt pretty isolated with all of this because I have not really talked to anyone about what I am going through. I felt alienated from my own life." Now shadow this same conversation at natural speaking speed. Your friend says, "Hey, you've seemed a bit off lately. Not quite yourself. Is everything okay? I'm here if you want to talk." You answer, "Thanks for asking. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I've been feeling pretty overwhelmed with everything going on right now." Your friend asks, "I'm sorry to hear you're struggling. What's been weighing on you most?" You say, "It's a combination of several things. I'm feeling stressed and anxious about work deadlines. I'm deeply worried about some personal decisions I need to make. And I've been feeling a bit lonely and isolated, even though I'm around people every day." Your friend validates you. "That sounds really difficult to carry all of that. I can completely understand why you'd feel overwhelmed." You add, "And honestly, I also feel frustrated with myself because I keep saying yes to things when I should be setting better boundaries. I'm exhausted, physically and mentally, and I'm not sleeping well." Your friend reassures you. "Please don't be so hard on yourself. It sounds like you're carrying an incredible amount of weight, and anyone would feel overwhelmed in your situation." You reply, "Thanks for saying that. I've also felt pretty isolated with all of this because I haven't talked to anyone about what I'm going through. I felt alienated from my own life." Your friend says, "Well, I'm really glad you're talking to me now. I'm here for you, and you don't have to go through this alone." And you finish, "Thank you so much. Just saying these things out loud and having someone listen makes me feel a little less alone with it all." Shadow this entire conversation. noticing how emotional honesty and vulnerability create a deeper connection and make support possible. Now think about challenging emotions in your own life and experience. Complete these sentence starters honestly, either silently or softly out loud. I feel stressed and overwhelmed when. Think about what triggers that pressure for you. I sometimes feel anxious or apprehensive about. Name the worry that sits in the back of your mind. I have felt frustrated or exasperated by. Acknowledge what has been testing your patience. Something that makes me feel disappointed or disheartened is. Name a time when expectations were not met. I feel lonely or isolated when. Identify the moments of separation. I feel most at peace and okay when I acknowledge that. Finish with a truth that grounds you. Remember something crucial. Expressing difficult emotions is not complaining, is not weakness, is not self-indulgence. It is self-awareness. It is honesty. It is emotional intelligence. It is the first necessary step toward healing, growth, and positive change. If positive emotions are the light and challenging emotions are the heavy ground, complex emotions are the shadows, the mist, the twilight zones where feelings are not clear-cut, black and white, or easy to define. Human beings are not simple creatures. We rarely feel just one thing at a time. Often, we experience conflicting emotions simultaneously. Joy mixed with sadness, love mixed with frustration, hope mixed with fear. These complex emotions are often the hardest to express because they seem contradictory. You might feel happy for a friend who is moving away for a great job opportunity, but also deeply sad for yourself because you will miss them. You might love your family deeply, but feel frustrated by their expectations. You might be excited about a new adventure, but terrified of the risks involved. Learning to express these nuanced, layered, gray area emotions is the hallmark of advanced emotional fluency. It shows that you understand the depth and complexity of the human experience. It allows you to be honest about the contradictions within your own heart. And it creates opportunities for profound connection, because when you share a complex feeling, you are inviting someone into the deeper, messier, more authentic parts of your life. Let us explore the flavor of memory and time with the words bittersweet, nostalgic, and wistful. Bittersweet describes a feeling that is both happy and sad at the same time. It is the peculiar, poignant ache of a moment that is beautiful, but also involves loss, ending, or change. Graduations are bittersweet. You are happy about the achievement, but sad about leaving friends behind. Looking at old photographs is bittersweet. You are happy to remember those beautiful moments, but sad that those times are gone forever. Let's try voicing this together, tasting both the joy and the sorrow. It was a bittersweet farewell. We were happy for her new adventure, but sad to see her go. Take a breath and shadow this phrase with a complex mixture of pride and longing. Watching my children grow up is a bittersweet experience. I am proud of who they are becoming, but I miss their baby years. Speak this aloud with reflective wisdom. There is something deeply bittersweet about endings. They remind us of how much we truly cared. Nostalgic is a sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past, typically for a period or place with happy personal associations. Nostalgia is looking back through a rose-colored filter, remembering the good times and minimizing the bad. It is a warm, fuzzy, sometimes sad feeling of wishing you could return to those simpler days. Try this one with a gentle smile and a sigh. I felt incredibly nostalgic listening to those songs from my teenage years. It brought back a flood of memories. Let's voice this together with a soft, backward-looking gaze. Seeing my old classroom filled me with deep nostalgia for my school days. Shadow this phrase with appreciation. Nostalgia is a gentle reminder of where we come from and the people who shaped our early lives. Wistful is a specific kind of quiet sadness or longing. Vague, regretful, full of what-ifs and if-onlys. It is a feeling of longing for something that is lost or out of reach, often accompanied by a slightly melancholy, dreamy mood. It is softer than grief. It is a quiet ache for a different reality. Take a breath and repeat this with empathy for that quiet longing. He had a wistful look in his eyes when he spoke of his childhood home and the dreams he left behind. Speak this aloud with gentle self-reflection. I always feel a bit wistful this time of year, thinking about all the things I have not accomplished yet. Try voicing this with a dreamy, longing quality. She gave a wistful sigh, wishing she could travel back in time for just one single day. When we experience the struggle of opposing desires, we feel ambivalent, conflicted, and torn. Ambivalent means having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something or someone. It is not that you do not care. It is that you feel two opposite ways equally. You want to stay, but you also want to leave. You like the job, but you hate the hours. Ambivalence is a state of internal suspension, swinging back and forth between two poles. Let's voice this together. Weighing the two sides in your mind. I am feeling entirely ambivalent about the job offer. The salary is incredible, but the commute is terrible. Shadow this phrase as a form of validation. It is completely normal to feel ambivalent about major life changes. Part of you wants to stay in your comfort zone, and part of you wants to grow. Speak this aloud honestly. I am ambivalent about the family reunion. I would love to see everyone, but I am nervous about the inevitable awkwardness. Conflicted means feeling pulled in different directions, usually by your emotions versus your logic, or your desires versus your core values. Conflict is active. It feels like a struggle or an ongoing battle inside you. Your head says one thing, your heart says another. Try this one with a sense of internal struggle. I feel deeply conflicted about this decision. My heart says yes, but my head says it is far too risky. Take a breath and repeat. Understanding the difficulty of that choice. She felt completely conflicted between her loyalty to her lifelong friend and her moral duty to tell the truth. Let the weight of this dilemma land as you say it. I am constantly conflicted about whether to speak up and cause a scene or stay silent just to keep the peace. Torn is a stronger, more emotional version of conflicted. It feels like you are literally being ripped apart between two choices or two people. It implies agony and deep distress over having to make an impossible choice. Let's voice this with the pain of that impossible situation. I feel completely torn between my career ambitions and my desperate desire to spend more time with my family. Shadow this phrase with profound empathy. He was torn between two equally appealing paths and simply could not decide which way to turn. Speak this aloud with a touch of sadness. It breaks my heart to feel so torn, but I know I have to make a choice eventually. Now let us talk about the courage of openness, feeling vulnerable, exposed, and raw. Vulnerable is one of the most important words you will learn in this entire lesson. It means being open to being hurt, emotionally exposed, or susceptible to attack. We often think vulnerability is a weakness, but in psychological reality, it is the greatest measure of human courage. To be vulnerable is to let someone see who you really are, your flaws, your fears, your authentic self, without any guarantees that they will accept you. Try voicing this with trembling, open-hearted courage. I feel incredibly vulnerable sharing my creative writing with others because it is so deeply personal to me. Take a breath and repeat this deep truth. Vulnerability is the absolute birthplace of true connection and intimacy. Let's voice this together with the warmth of connection. I finally allowed myself to be vulnerable with him, and it brought us closer together than ever before. Exposed is similar to vulnerable, but with a sharper, perhaps more uncomfortable edge. It means feeling unprotected, seen too clearly, or laid bare without a defense. It can happen after a mistake becomes public knowledge, or when you share a secret and feel like everyone is judging you. Shadow this phrase, wincing slightly at the memory. I felt so completely exposed when I forgot my lines during the presentation in front of the entire company. Speak this aloud with that mix of fear and relief. Admitting my faults to the team left me feeling exposed, but it was also incredibly liberating. Try this one with firm conviction. It feels terrifying to be exposed, but hiding the truth is exhausting and even harder. Raw describes an emotion that is fresh, unhealed, and painfully close to the surface. It feels like an open wound that has not yet formed a scar. Grief is often raw in the beginning. Anger can feel raw. It means you have not processed the emotion yet. It is just there, intense, stinging, and immediate. Let's voice this gently, honoring the slow healing process. My emotions still feel incredibly raw even after a month has passed. I just need more time to heal. Take a breath and repeat, with respect for that honesty. He gave a raw, unfiltered account of his struggles that moved everyone in the audience to tears. Speak this aloud with self-awareness. I feel so raw today, like every little comment is affecting me far more than usual. Now let us examine the difficult emotions of comparison, feeling jealous, envious, and insecure. Jealousy and envy are often confused in English, but they are distinct emotional states. Jealousy generally involves a third party. It is the fear of losing something you already have, like a partner's affection or a friend's attention, to someone else. It is rooted in protection and the fear of replacement. Shadow this phrase honestly, acknowledging that fear. I felt a sudden, sharp pang of jealousy when I saw him laughing so easily with his ex-girlfriend. Try voicing this with a warning tone. Unchecked jealousy can completely ruin a beautiful relationship if you do not communicate about your insecurities. Let's speak this together as an intention for growth. I am working hard on trusting myself more, so I do not feel jealous and threatened so easily. Envy is wanting what someone else has, their job, their car, their natural talent, their apparent luck. It is a two-person dynamic, you looking at them and wishing you had what they possess. Take a breath and repeat, with humble honesty. I have to admit, I felt a twinge of envy when I heard about her massive promotion. Speak this aloud with mature wisdom. Envy is such a waste of emotional energy. I really should focus on my own path instead of constantly comparing myself to others. Try this one with deep relatability. It is so hard not to feel envy when everyone else on social media seems to have a flawlessly perfect life. Insecure means feeling uncertain, anxious, or not good enough. It is the internal root cause of both jealousy and envy. When you feel insecure, you doubt your own worth, your abilities, or your position in a group. Let's voice this together with true vulnerability. I always feel incredibly insecure in social situations where I do not know many people. Shadow this phrase with the sting of a painful memory. His harsh criticism made me feel deeply insecure about my artistic abilities for years. Speak this aloud with warm encouragement. We all feel insecure sometimes, but we absolutely cannot let that fear stop us from trying. Let us close this emotional section with the weight of conscience, feeling guilty, ashamed, and regretful. Guilt is the feeling that you have done something wrong or failed in an obligation. It is specifically about behavior, the feeling of, I did something bad. Guilt can actually be highly constructive if it leads to making amends, apologizing, or changing your future behavior. Try voicing this with a genuine desire to fix a mistake. I feel so guilty about forgetting her birthday. I need to figure out a way to make it up to her. Take a breath and repeat with the weight of that feeling. He was completely consumed by guilt over the harsh, unforgiving words he spoke in anger. Let's voice this together with psychological insight. Guilt can actually be a useful emotion if it motivates us to sincerely apologize and change our ways. Shame is much deeper, darker, and more painful than guilt. It is not about what you did, but about who you are. It feels like you are fundamentally flawed, unworthy, or broken. While guilt says, I made a mistake, shame says, I am a mistake. Shame is the terrifying fear of being fundamentally unlovable. Shadow this phrase softly, with the heavy weight of that realization. I felt a deep, crushing sense of shame when I realized how my selfish actions had hurt the people I love. Speak this aloud with the wisdom of healing. Shame thrives in secrecy and darkness. Speaking about it openly helps to diminish its destructive power. Try this one with boundless compassion. You do not ever need to feel shame for asking for professional help. It is one of the bravest things you can do. Regretful means feeling sad, repentant, or disappointed over something that has happened or been done, especially a profound loss or a missed opportunity. It is looking back over your shoulder and wishing you had made a different choice. Let's voice this together with peaceful acceptance. I have no regrets about the difficult past because every single challenge led me directly to where I am today. Take a breath and repeat with that lingering feeling of what if. She looked back at that pivotal decision with a regretful sigh, wishing she had chosen the other path. Shadow this phrase with a focus on learning. It is deeply painful to feel regretful, but it teaches us incredibly valuable lessons for the future. In this next extended dialogue, imagine two friends are sitting in a quiet coffee shop discussing a complex life situation where one of them feels completely torn between two emotions. Listen to how they navigate the nuance. Your friend takes a sip of their coffee, looks at you warmly, and asks, "How are you feeling about the big move? Is all the paperwork finally finalized?" And you reply, looking down at your hands, "Yes, the paperwork is entirely done, but honestly, I am feeling completely torn." Your friend looks surprised, sets their cup down, and says, "Torn? That surprises me. I thought you desperately wanted this transfer." You explain, looking up with a conflicted expression, "I do, and that is the most confusing part. I am absolutely excited about the promotion. It is a huge, life-changing opportunity for my career. But at the exact same time, I am heartbroken to leave this city and all the memories I have built here. I feel so incredibly ambivalent." Your friend nods understandingly, reaching out to tap your arm. "That makes perfect sense. It is entirely okay to feel happy and sad at the exact same time. It is a deeply bittersweet moment in your life." You continue, sighing softly. "Exactly. I feel guilty for being so excited when I know my friends here are going to miss me. And I feel so anxious and apprehensive about starting over in a new place where I do not know a single soul. It is just a massive whirlwind of mixed emotions." Your friend reassures you with a gentle smile. "Of course it is. You are human. You can be immensely grateful for the opportunity and still mourn the change that comes with it. Those two things can absolutely exist together without canceling each other out." You smile softly, feeling the tension leave your shoulders, and say, "Thanks for saying that. I really just needed to hear that it is normal to feel this conflicted and raw right now." Now, let us practice your part of this complex dialogue. Shadow slowly as the person going through this confusing situation. Focus on the emotional weight of the words torn, ambivalent, heartbroken, guilty, and conflicted. Let's voice this together. "Yes, the paperwork is entirely done, but honestly, I am feeling completely torn." Try this next part, letting the contradiction flow naturally. "I do, and that is the most confusing part. I am absolutely excited about the promotion. It is a huge, life-changing opportunity for my career. But at the exact same time, I am heartbroken to leave this city and all the memories I have built here. I feel so incredibly ambivalent." Take a breath and repeat, capturing the anxiety and guilt. "Exactly. I feel guilty for being so excited when I know my friends here are going to miss me. And I feel so anxious and apprehensive about starting over in a new place where I do not know a single soul. It is just a massive whirlwind of mixed emotions." Shadow this final line with profound gratitude. "Thanks for saying that. I really just needed to hear that it is normal to feel this conflicted and raw right now." Now let us hear it at natural speaking speed. Your friend asks, "How are you feeling about the big move? Is all the paperwork finally finalized? You reply, yes, the paperwork is entirely done, but honestly, I'm feeling completely torn. Your friend says, torn? That surprises me. I thought you desperately wanted this transfer. You answer, I do, and that's the most confusing part. I'm absolutely excited about the promotion. It's a huge, life-changing opportunity for my career. But at the exact same time, I'm heartbroken to leave this city and all the memories I've built here. I feel so incredibly ambivalent. Your friend responds, that makes perfect sense. It's entirely okay to feel happy and sad at the exact same time. It's a deeply bittersweet moment in your life. You say, exactly. I feel guilty for being so excited when I know my friends here are going to miss me. And I feel so anxious and apprehensive about starting over in a new place where I don't know a single soul. It's just a massive whirlwind of mixed emotions. Your friend comforts you. Of course it is. You're human. You can be immensely grateful for the opportunity and still mourn the change that comes with it. Those two things can absolutely exist together. And you finish, thanks for saying that. I really just needed to hear that it's normal to feel this conflicted and raw right now. Up to this point, we have talked mostly about emotions, transient feelings that rise and fall like the tide. Now, we need to pivot to a crucial, serious, and deeply important topic: mental health and mental states. Talking about mental health in English requires sensitivity, precision, empathy, and respect. It is very distinct from talking about just having a bad day. Mental health describes our overarching psychological, emotional, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act on a daily basis. It also helps determine how we handle chronic stress, relate to others, and make major life choices. For a very long time in society, people were afraid to talk about depression, anxiety, burnout, or going to therapy. It was considered taboo. But today, in modern English conversation, we are moving rapidly toward openness and destigmatization. Having the vocabulary to talk about your mental health state is an act of profound self-care and self-advocacy. It allows you to look someone in the eye and say, I am struggling, I need support, or I am taking active steps to heal my mind. We will approach this section with the exact same care, gentleness, and respect we have used throughout this entire lesson. We will focus on conversational phrases that describe states of being rather than clinical, diagnostic medical terms. But we will also touch on the modern language used around seeking help and the beautiful journey of recovery. Let us discuss the reality of system overloads, using words like burnout, chronic stress, depletion, and compassion fatigue. We touched on burnout earlier, but let us expand it into a mental health context. Burnout is a state of severe emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and entirely unable to meet constant demands. As the stress continues month after month, you begin to lose the interest and motivation that led you to take on a certain role in the first place. Let's voice this together with serious self-awareness. I am currently dealing with severe burnout and need to take a significant step back from my work responsibilities. Shadow this phrase with an understanding of how it sneaks up on you. Burnout creeps up on you slowly. One day you wake up and just realize you have absolutely nothing left to give. Try this one as a firm plan of action. Recovering from burnout requires radical rest, strict boundary setting, and completely reevaluating my life priorities. Chronic stress is stress that is constant and persists over an extended period of time, sometimes years. Unlike acute stress, like the temporary nervousness before a speech, chronic stress is the constant background noise of always feeling on edge, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, always operating in survival mode. Take a breath and repeat with genuine concern. Living in a state of chronic stress for so long has actively started to affect my physical health. Speak this aloud with a sudden realization. I did not realize how much chronic stress I was carrying in my body until I finally took a 2-week vacation. Let's voice this as a powerful intention. I absolutely need to break this toxic cycle of chronic stress by learning to relax and letting go of my need for control. Depletion and compassion fatigue are states of total emptiness. Depletion is when your inner reserves are entirely gone. Compassion fatigue specifically happens to caregivers, nurses, parents, or highly empathetic friends who have given so much emotional support to others that they can no longer feel empathy. Shadow this phrase with that profound lack of reserves. After giving so much to this project for 6 months straight, my creative and mental energy is completely depleted. Try voicing this with an understanding of caregiver burnout. She is suffering from severe compassion fatigue after taking care of her sick relative for 3 years without a break. When navigating the darkness, we use words like depressed, low, struggling, and languishing. It is important to distinguish between feeling sad, which is a temporary emotion, and feeling depressed, which is a mental state or clinical condition. However, in casual conversation, people often use the word depressed to mean a lingering, heavy mood that is not quite clinical depression, but is far heavier than just a fleeting sadness. Let's voice this gently. I have been feeling really low lately, completely lacking the energy to do the things I usually enjoy. Low is a gentle, safe word to use when you do not feel happy, but do not want to use clinical terminology. Take a breath and repeat. I have been feeling really low lately, completely lacking the energy to do the things I usually enjoy. Speak this aloud, honoring the active fight. I have been really struggling with my mental health recently, and I am trying to figure out why. Struggling implies you are fighting a battle. Try this one with hope for the future. I am going through a really rough patch right now, but I know deep down it will not last forever. A rough patch is an excellent native idiom for a difficult period of time. Now shadow this phrase with profound courage. I think I need to talk to a professional. I have not felt like myself for a very long time. This is one of the most important sentences you can ever learn to say in English. It is the sentence that begins the journey of healing. We can also use the word languishing. Languishing is a sense of stagnation and emptiness. It feels as if you are muddling through your days, looking at your life through a foggy windshield. It is the absence of well-being. Let's voice this together. I am not depressed, but I am definitely not thriving. I feel like I am just languishing in this endless routine. When discussing the restless mind, we talk about anxiety, panic, spiraling, and overthinking. We all feel anxious occasionally, but when we talk about anxiety as a mental state, we mean the persistent, excessive worry that does not go away even when there is no clear, logical reason to be afraid. Shadow this phrase with radical self-acceptance. I struggle with generalized anxiety, which means my brain tells me to worry about everything, even the smallest things. Try voicing this with the memory of that intense feeling. I woke up in a state of sheer panic this morning, my heart racing for absolutely no apparent reason. Overthinking and spiraling are very common modern terms. Spiraling means your negative thoughts are spinning out of control, getting worse and worse. Speak this aloud. My overthinking is completely out of control today. I find myself spiraling and replaying simple conversations in my head for hours. Let's voice this together as a proactive step. I am learning new coping mechanisms to manage my anxiety, like deep breathing exercises and daily meditation. The language of healing includes therapy, counseling, and professional support. There is absolutely no shame in seeking help. In fact, using the vocabulary of therapy in your everyday life is incredibly empowering and shows immense self-awareness. Let's voice this together with pride in taking that brave step. I started seeing a therapist to work through some deeply unresolved issues from my childhood. Take a breath and repeat this with profound gratitude. Counseling has given me the practical tools to communicate my complex feelings much more effectively. Shadow this phrase, embracing the concept of personal growth. I am currently on a beautiful, challenging journey of self-discovery and mental wellness. Journey of self-discovery is a wonderful native phrase that honors your personal evolution. Speak this aloud without an ounce of shame. Making the decision to take medication for my mental health was difficult, but it was absolutely the right choice for me and my well-being. To describe positive mental health states, we use words like resilient, healed, flourishing, and thriving. Mental health is not just about managing illness, it is about cultivating true wellness. We need rich words to describe when we are doing profoundly well psychologically. Resilient means you bounce back from adversity. You bend, but you do not break. Let's voice this together with quiet strength. I feel incredibly resilient after overcoming that massive challenge. I know deep down I can handle whatever comes next. Healing is a long process. It implies a journey over time rather than an overnight fix. Try this one with a sense of peace. I have come such a long way in my personal healing process, and I finally feel at peace with my past. Thriving and flourishing are the exact opposites of struggling. They mean you are growing, doing exceptionally well, and living up to your potential. Shadow this phrase with genuine joy. I am not just surviving right now. I am truly thriving. I feel beautifully balanced and mentally clear. Speak this aloud casually, using a very common native expression. I am in a really good headspace these days. Everything just feels manageable. Headspace is the perfect modern word to describe your current mental and emotional condition. In this next extended conversation, one friend confides in another about their mental state. Notice the supportive, non-judgmental language used throughout the exchange. Imagine your friend asks you gently, "Hey, I have noticed you have been a bit distant lately. Is everything okay with you?" And you answer honestly, looking them in the eyes. Thanks for asking. Honestly, I have been struggling quite a bit with my mental health recently. Your friend responds with immediate warmth. I am so sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about it? I am here to listen whenever you are ready. You continue, letting your guard down. I really appreciate that. I think I am just severely burnt out from work, and it has triggered a lot of underlying anxiety. I feel overwhelmed constantly, and my overthinking is out of control. Your friend validates your experience completely. That sounds incredibly draining and exhausting. Have you thought about seeing someone, like a therapist or a counselor? You nod slowly and say, Yes, actually, I have been looking into counseling options in my area. I think I need professional support to get back to a healthy headspace. Your friend encourages you with absolute sincerity. I think that is a really brave and smart step to take. Taking care of your mind is just as important as taking care of your physical body. You finish by saying, feeling a weight lift off your shoulders. Thank you for understanding. It is not easy to admit, but I know I need to prioritize my well-being right now above everything else. Let us practice your part of this conversation slowly, focusing on that brave vulnerability. Let's voice this together. Thanks for asking. Honestly, I have been struggling quite a bit with my mental health recently. Take a breath and repeat this next part with absolute honesty. I really appreciate that. I think I am just severely burnt out from work, and it has triggered a lot of underlying anxiety. I feel overwhelmed constantly, and my overthinking is out of control. Shadow this final response with quiet determination. Yes, actually. I have been looking into counseling options in my area. I think I need professional support to get back to a healthy headspace. Thank you for understanding. It is not easy to admit, but I know I need to prioritize my well-being right now above everything else. Now let us practice this at natural speaking speed. Your friend says, Hey, I've noticed you've been a bit distant lately. Is everything okay with you? You reply, Thanks for asking. Honestly, I've been struggling quite a bit with my mental health recently. Your friend says, I'm so sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about it? I'm here to listen whenever you're ready. You answer, I really appreciate that. I think I'm just severely burnt out from work, and it's triggered a lot of underlying anxiety. I feel overwhelmed constantly, and my overthinking is out of control. Your friend asks, That sounds incredibly draining and exhausting. Have you thought about seeing someone, like a therapist or a counselor? You reply, Yes, actually. I've been looking into counseling options in my area. I think I need professional support to get back to a healthy headspace. Your friend says, I think that's a really brave and smart step to take. Taking care of your mind is just as important as taking care of your physical body. And you finish, Thank you for understanding. It's not easy to admit, but I know I need to prioritize my well-being right now above everything else. So far in this masterclass, we have focused entirely on expressing your own internal emotions. But communication is a two-way street. Being emotionally fluent also means knowing exactly how to respond when others share their fragile feelings with you. This is often much harder than expressing yourself. When someone says, I am sad, or I am extremely anxious, Our human instinct is often to try to fix it immediately. We say things like, "Do not worry. It will be fine. Look on the bright side." Or we try to minimize it by saying, "It is really not a big deal. Others have it worse." But these responses, while usually well-intentioned, almost always make people feel unheard, dismissed, and even more isolated. The true key to responding effectively is empathy. Empathy is not about fixing the problem. It is about validating the emotion. It is about holding space, which means being fully present with someone in their pain without trying to change it, rush it, or judge it. You are going to learn the exact phrases native speakers use to validate feelings, show unwavering support, and respond with high emotional intelligence. These phrases will make you a better friend, a better partner, a better colleague, and a more connected human being. Validation is the beautiful act of acknowledging and accepting another person's internal experience as real, valid, and understandable. It does not mean you agree with their thoughts or their version of events. It just means you honor the reality of their feelings. This is the absolute gold standard of validation. Let's voice it together warmly. I hear you, and it makes complete sense that you feel that way given what happened. Take a breath and repeat with deep reassurance. It is completely understandable to feel so overwhelmed in a situation exactly like this. Shadow this phrase with firm, unwavering support. Your feelings are completely valid. You have every right to be upset about this. Speak this aloud, keeping it simple and direct. I can absolutely see why that hurt you so deeply. Sometimes people are hesitant to share because they do not want to be a burden. You can use gentle phrases to invite them to say more, entirely without pressure. Try voicing this casually and openly. Do you want to talk about it? I am all ears and I have nowhere else to be. Let's use the word really to invite a deeper answer than just, I am fine. Speak this aloud. How are you really holding up with everything going on right now? Shadow this phrase to instantly remove pressure. Take your time. There is absolutely no rush to figure this out. Take a breath and repeat with genuine interest. Please, tell me more about what that specific moment was like for you. A very common mistake in English is saying, "Let me know if you need anything." This is vague, and because people do not want to be an inconvenience, they almost never ask for help. It is so much better to offer specific, tangible help. Instead of saying, "Call me if you need anything," try a specific offer. Let's voice this together. I am going to the grocery store this afternoon. Can I please pick up some dinner for you? Shadow this phrase with fierce loyalty. I am here for you. Whatever you need, day or night, just say the word. Speak this aloud with quiet strength. You do not have to go through this alone. I am right here to support you every step of the way. Try this one with helpful intent. Is there anything specific I can do to make today even a little bit easier for you right now? Sometimes people are simply not ready to share. Emotional intelligence means recognizing and respecting that boundary without taking it personally. Take a breath and repeat with profound respect. I completely understand if you do not want to talk about it right now. Shadow this phrase with endless patience. I am right here whenever you are ready to talk, even if that is weeks from now. Let's voice this together lightly. To change the subject gracefully, we can talk about something entirely different if you prefer a distraction. In this next dialogue, a close friend shares a deep vulnerability with you. Listen to how you validate and support them without ever trying to fix the problem immediately. Your friend sighs heavily, rubbing their eyes, and says, "I made a huge, terrible mistake at work today. I feel so incredibly stupid and embarrassed." You listen carefully, giving them your full attention, and say, "Oh wow, that sounds incredibly stressful and heavy. I am so sorry that happened to you today." Your friend continues, their voice shaking a bit. "Yeah, I feel like I might actually get fired over this. I am really anxious and my stomach is in knots." You validate their physical and emotional feelings perfectly. It is completely understandable that you are feeling so anxious right now. That is a truly scary position to be in. Your friend shakes their head in despair. "I just do not know what I am going to do to fix this." You offer supportive choices rather than solutions. "I do not have the answers right now, but I am here for you. Do you want to vent and get it all out, or would you prefer a distraction to take your mind off it?" Your friend breathes a sigh of relief. "I think I just need to vent and cry for a minute." And you reply softly, "I am listening. Tell me absolutely everything." Shadow your part slowly as the highly empathetic, supportive friend. Focus deeply on your tone of voice, keeping it warm, steady, and validating. Let's voice this together. "Oh wow, that sounds incredibly stressful and heavy. I am so sorry that happened to you today." Take a breath and repeat. It is completely understandable that you are feeling so anxious right now. That is a truly scary position to be in. Try this next part, offering that beautiful choice. "I do not have the answers right now, but I am here for you. Do you want to vent and get it all out, or would you prefer a distraction to take your mind off it?" Speak this aloud with total presence. "I am listening. Tell me absolutely everything." Now let us practice this at natural speaking speed. Your friend says, "I made a huge, terrible mistake at work today. I feel so incredibly stupid and embarrassed." You say, "Oh wow, that sounds incredibly stressful and heavy. I'm so sorry that happened to you today." Your friend says, "Yeah, I feel like I might actually get fired over this. I'm really anxious and my stomach is in knots." You answer, "It's completely understandable that you're feeling so anxious right now. That's a truly scary position to be in." Your friend says, "I just don't know what I'm going to do to fix this." You offer, "I don't have the answers right now, but I'm here for you. Do you want to vent and get it all out, or would you prefer a distraction to take your mind off it?" Your friend replies, "I think I just need to vent and cry for a minute." And you say, "I'm listening. Tell me absolutely everything." We have covered an extraordinary amount of ground today. We have moved from simple happiness to complex, bittersweet nostalgia. We have journeyed from sadness to the depths of burnout and back up to radiant resilience. We have learned to speak our authentic truth and to hold safe, loving space for others. Now, in this final section, we are going to integrate absolutely everything. I want you to stop thinking about vocabulary lists and start thinking about expression. The ultimate goal of emotional fluency is to close the gap between who you are inside and how you speak on the outside. When you feel joy, I want the word elated, radiant, or content to be right there on the tip of your tongue. When you feel overwhelmed, I want you to be able to look at someone and say, I am struggling right now, and say it entirely without shame. This masterclass is not about academic perfection. It is about human connection. It is about using the English language to build the life, the boundaries, and the relationships you truly want. I am going to ask you a series of 4 reflective questions. For each question, I want you to answer silently in your head or softly out loud, choosing the most precise, beautiful word you have learned today. Do not settle for just good or bad. Search your heart and find the specific word that matches your soul right now in this exact moment. Question 1. When you think about your life in general right now, what is the dominant emotion? Is it content? Is it anxious? Is it hopeful? Is it exhausted? Is it uncertain? Take a breath, find the word, and say it to yourself. I feel. Question 2. Think about a specific challenge you are currently facing in your life. How does it truly make you feel? Is it frustrating? Is it overwhelming? Is it confusing? Is it exasperating? Find the word and say it to yourself. I am. Question 3. Think about a positive, loving relationship in your life. How do you feel when you are with that person? Is it grateful? Is it supported? Is it vulnerable? Is it joyful? Hold their face in your mind and say the word to yourself. I feel. Question 4. How do you want to feel tomorrow when you wake up? Is it peaceful? Is it confident? Is it energetic? Is it serene? Say the word to yourself as a powerful intention for your future. I will feel. Before we go, I want to leave you with a mantra. A mantra is a statement you repeat to yourself to affirm a deep, undeniable truth. I want you to repeat this after me. Let these words sink into your subconscious mind and rewrite how you view yourself as an English speaker and as a human being. Let's voice this together with conviction. I have the right to feel exactly what I feel. Take a deep breath and repeat. I have the right to feel exactly what I feel. Shadow this phrase with unwavering belief. I have the words to express myself clearly and beautifully. Speak this aloud to the room. I have the words to express myself clearly and beautifully. Try this one with deep self-love. I am entirely worthy of being understood by others. Let's voice it again. I am entirely worthy of being understood by others. And finally, shadow this truth. My voice matters and my feelings matter. One last time. My voice matters and my feelings matter. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart for sharing this profound time with me today. Learning a language is a journey of the mind, but learning to express your emotions in that language is a journey of the heart. You have done beautiful, courageous work today. You have expanded your emotional landscape. You have practiced vulnerability. You have learned the true meaning of empathy. I encourage you to go out into the real world and use these words. Do not save them for special occasions. Use them with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and most importantly, with yourself. The more you use them, the more natural they will become. And the more you use them, the more deeply you will connect with the world around you. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Be gentle with your hearts and keep expressing your beautiful, authentic selves in English. Goodbye for now, and always remember, your feelings are valid. Your voice is powerful, and you are now fluent in the language of emotion.